Alright guys, so just a quick one today, or later on rather. Just a touch-up video, just want to elaborate on a concept real quick. So I'm just gonna pull up something, just give me a second. Just gonna go to Carbonite, gonna find my SIG. Just gonna copy this real quick, and yeah. So I call my rig Pulsar. Now, Pulsar is currently a open bench nerd setup with all my components right in front of me. So it's not much of a pretty computer anymore. It used to be a bit of a pretty build, and the idea behind Pulsar was always that it would be like a really quick build. Now maybe if I got a 790 Apex and a 4090, I could get some 70 600 dual rank action, and maybe like the 4090 to just push a bit and then get some good 3D mark scores out. Maybe some top 50 on the off, but until the day where I can afford a Apex and a 90 as well together, and then just go full out. Unfortunately, we're stuck with this right now, which is not like a terrible PC by any means, but it's not really, um, it's not as decked out as I'd like. Obviously, I'll start working in a few months, because I obviously finished studying now. Not like sure exactly what I'll do, but I'm not gonna have much to spend my salary on, so I think I'll probably start considering, something a bit more high end. But yeah, anyway, so um, let me just break this down. So I paid. So I'm gonna say with shipping, by the way, because it doesn't make sense to include a cost of an item with no shipping. Now, this would be 10,850 I paid in my currency. I'm gonna convert that to dollars. So it's gonna be let me see. Let me just see what the conversion is right now. Just one USD to ZAR. Okay, the conversion is 18.15. Okay, so 10,850 divided by 18.15. I already know what it'll be. It's gonna be about $600. So I'm gonna say $600. I'm just gonna round it up for you guys a little bit. $600. Um, this I paid 11 grand for the i9 with shipping. Plus I paid 1150 for the CPU cooler with shipping. This fan was free, so this is going to be 7,000 rand for the RAM kit with no shipping included. So that's going to be 11,000 plus, 150. So it'll be 1,000 plus 150 divided by 18.15. It's about $670 for both. I'm gonna round up obviously, or round down or whatever, just to make the numbers nice and complete, like just to make it look a bit cleaner. 1815, man. It's about 385 with shipping. 385. MBA. I paid 16.5 for this. Don't ask me how. Just let it be. 16,500 divided by 18.15. So $910 roughly. And then paid 4,100 with shipping for this. That was an overpriced product, but this was 2021, so this is almost 2 years old already. I've had it like 2 years now. And it was a year old before that. So yeah, this was expensive, but only because I got it a long time ago, guys. So before you say like, oh, why didn't you get a sick like 990 Pro? It's because it was a long time ago, right? So yeah, 225 is a lot for a bargain but SSD like this one. Um, that was 3 grand, so this was a pretty good deal as well. I got this for from I wouldn't say a friend per se, but someone I would regard as more than an acquaintance, like very nice guy that I've often bought parts from in our country. And this is 165 with shipping, and then this was very cheap. I paid 400 bucks for this. It's basically nothing. Um, Not to say it's nothing, but it's pretty much nothing these days. In our current times, this is like nothing because the conversion and what 400 bucks gets you in our country, it's not what it used to be. Like back in there was a time where 400 bucks get you a lot of stuff, but right now it can barely get you a jar of creatine, bro. But anyway, um, I'm gonna call it about $20 even. I'm just gonna say 20 even. So 20 plus 165. It's gonna end up being I already know what it'll be. Plus 910 plus 385 plus 670 plus 600. Yeah, 2975. I'm gonna say plus minus, right? So I mean, look, the currency conversion changes anyway. So I mean, this is really is roughly. But anyway, or whatever. So roughly speaking, my PC was this. Now, um, if you look at the weighting, like, so I'm gonna split up. Actually, let me just split this up. Let me just do this just before, like, so it looks a bit, a bit easier to understand. Say 11,000. I'm gonna say this is so. This will be something else. Let's see. Quick. 11,000 divided by 18.15. So I paid about $605 for my i9. And I paid nothing for this thing, dude. The guy that sold me this is a G. He's a legend. Thank you for selling this cooler for $65, bro. You freaking legend. Absolute stud. Absolute stud of a dude. But anyway. Um, yeah, okay, now, don't worry, but I'm just gonna say this was free. I'm not gonna elaborate, but it was free. Uh, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Now you guys think I'm dodgy. You guys think I'm like stealing stuff. No, no. I didn't steal it, but it was free. Like it was practically free. Like don't worry about it. Um, but anyway. So yeah. Um, it was a funny situation how I got this for free, but either way, whatever. It's in the past. But yeah. So that's about it. 65, 605, 385. Yeah. But anyway, so it should still add up, roughly speaking, to that same total. Let me just try again. Let's see what it does now if I split it that way. 65, 85. Yeah, it should do the same. What am I doing? I'm wasting my time. Dude, I'm so tired right now, guys. My head is like exploding. Yeah, it's same. Anyway, so whatever. And I'm gonna do weighting. So this was approximately, because I know most of you guys are American, I'm gonna do it in dollars. So approximately 20%, about 20% weight. So this was 20% of the build cost. This was 605 divided by 2. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you paid the same for your board as your CPU, dude, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. Yep, well, I know a guy, no, I'm not gonna say that, let me not, I know people that have spent crazy amounts of money on the most mundane things. Let me tell you, like, if you think putting in a lot of cash into a motherboard because you like motherboards is weird, like, dude, let me tell you, like, I've observed people burn money. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I've seen people absolutely light money on fire, dude. Like, um, 910 divided by 2975, 30%. Okay, that makes sense. It's good. I want the GPU to be the most expensive. It shouldn't be like by crazy amount, but it should be the most expensive, obviously, because it's the graphics card. So, it's the most advanced piece of tech that you own. Always. I mean, if you own a Lovelace card, you pretty much have AI in your house, which is like pretty cool, right? If you had two 90s, you have like a lot of AI. That's a pretty strong AI setup. If you had like a farm of 4090s, you could probably like start doing some cool stuff with it, you know. This is not gonna add up to 100% if because I didn't because I didn't. Oh my goodness, dude. Um, it's like 0.06%, dude. That's crazy. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's not gonna add up to 100% because times 100, it's 0.67%. Sorry, 0.67%. And this was. Let me just do it again. I'll get the decimals for you guys. 2975 times 100. It's a 5.5%. Just 5.5 because it's well 5.54%. 45 oh 55, yeah, it's 6 afterwards. Okay, 5.55%. 225 divided by 2975, so times 100, 7.56%. Dots. Man. GPU. Okay, this is actually a waste of time, but I'm having fun. It's my video, I can have fun. 30.59%. I gotta do decimals because otherwise it's not gonna add up to 100. That's the problem. Times 100. I didn't plan this out properly. 12.94%. Okay, well, that's basically 13%. Times 100. 2.18%. 20.34%. You know who's actually committing a travesty? All you guys that buy your 10,000 Rand PC cases. That's a travesty. Like, that's the real problem here. Like, 20.17%. There we go. Okay, cool. So, if you understand what's going on here, basically just these are the weighted values of each component. Now, okay, so let's start off. The case is literally like not even you couldn't even call that a fraction of the PC's value. It's pretty much almost nothing. It's almost like even it's hard to even like quantify it in terms of the rest of the build. Like it's just so insignificant. Like it's just not even worth looking at. And honestly, like by this point, I would be happy to like if Asus included bench stands with their motherboards, I wouldn't mind using one, just like the dock had one. Because to be honest, guys, I am at the point in my life where I just could not care less what the build looks like. It's just so silly to like have to screw out stuff and screw it back in and this and that, and then the case has to get put somewhere, and it's so heavy, and it's a big 20 kilogram block of steel, and it's like, dude, it's such an annoyance. I'm so over them that like honestly, I don't want to spend anything on a case like these days. It's just worth nothing to me. It's worth nothing. It's literally just worth nothing, right? Um, the next lowest value item is the cooler, which I got for basically nothing. Um, Pretty much nothing. And this cooler for 2.18%. I mean, arguably speaking, because it has the job of keeping the i9 healthy. You'd want it to be like the most high-end cooling solution possible, but you know what? Like at 2% for this money, dude. Like the amount of cooling capacity I got for the price is like crazy. Cause like, dude, a custom loop that would set you back easily 650 US easily. I'm talking like if you wanted like talking like two 420s thick rads. You know these fans like 6 of them for the rads. May push pull, but let's say 6 of them for the rads. You wanted high end like EK and like a nice EK block. I don't know what the newest one is, or like a direct die block or something like that. If you wanted, 650 US gets you quite a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money in my country. I mean, 650 US is like what, 15.15. That's like it's like 12,000 rand. Yo, dude, this could get you like a freaking chiller if you want. You could go to the pet shop and like get a chiller, like a 5,000 rand chiller, and then the direct die block from EK, and then you could buy like a pump and maybe two pumps. You could buy like, well, you wouldn't need a rad because you have a chiller, so you get like a reservoir. Or, but if you let's say you don't want a chiller, let's say you just want to buy like a normal custom loop, you get like 2-3 rads, buy like multiple pumps, you can get the sickest block. But yeah, so for like a solid $650, a lot of guys online spend that on their cooling setups. That would get you like a completely decked out, like full balls to the wall, like, literally completely like decked out cooling setup. And yeah, a lot of guys do that. Well, at $65, this compared to that, and then let's say half that, so let's like a $300 setup, which still is like a decent amount of money. It'll be like about 5,500 rand or something. That would get you like a very bare bones custom loop, Like for $300, you could, I mean, you wouldn't get much, but you could get some stuff, right? Like for this amount of, what am I doing? 300 times 18.15. Yeah, 5,000. Yeah, I knew it was about 5.5. Yeah, like 5.5 grand. I mean, what could you get with that? Not much. Like you get like one. I mean, if you found one, you could find an LGA 1700 block on carbonite. Because I mean, well, let's say you're overseas, and you don't have to worry about like import tax and stuff. You could buy a EK block for like, I don't know, like what? It's like, what does it cost? Like $100 something, $120, whatever. Like $110, $120 for an EK block, and then what? You want to buy like a very basic 420 rad, some basic tubes, like one pump, maybe two if you can squeeze in the budget, and like basic ass fittings and everything, and then maybe you squeeze into like a $300 like window, right? So let's say $300 for like a basic ass custom loop, and then like $600 for like a really nice custom loop where you really just got everything you needed. And then so this cooler is anywhere between what, like 20, it's anywhere between 10% of the value of a really sick custom loop and like 20% the value of like a really basic custom loop. The basic loop would still outperform this for sure. I'm not saying it won't. It would. I definitely would. A basic loop with like a good cold plate, or like a good CP block rather. A strong pump, a strong external, D5 or whatever, and then like a nice thick rad that you can't usually get with AIOs. That would still perform better than this 420, obviously. It would perform like not like much better, probably like give or take like 5 to 10 degrees depending on how good your like flow rate is and stuff, how well you set it up and whatever. But yeah, about 5 to 10 degrees maybe, which would be probably pretty accurate to assume. I mean, dude, for $65, like I kind of scored, I'm not gonna lie, but I actually did an equation in my head and I kind of looked at it and I was like, you know what, the amount of performance you get from going from like, okay, now keep in mind my whole thing about IC max and like safe like i9 voltages and stuff. Now let me tell you, if I run Y Cruncher VST, which I regard as like the only test I have to pass because I don't run anything heavier than that. Y Cruncher VST is the heaviest I can run, that I run for my RAM and stuff. I can run it with this and safely. Like if I ran VST on this setup right now, it would hit like 1.19 Vmin under load to 1.2 max, so 1.19 to 1.2 Vmin. And that would be running at about, let's give it like 300 watts ish, and that put it like 95 degrees, and that's still relatively operable. It's not like great, not like peak performance, efficiency, and safety and whatever, but it's about operable. It's not likely you would degrade the chip running it like so. This is about the best my chip can do with reasonable voltages and stuff. Well, let's say I wanted 5.7. Okay, well, 5.7 I would require, and according to Asus's thing, my chip actually is like very linear. So like, according to Asus, which is pretty accurate actually, like 1.3 set is required for 5.4 with LLC5. 1.35 as I have it now set is for 5.5. I need 1.4-ish for 5.6, 1.45, 5.7, 1.5, 5.8. So literally 50 millivolts a clock step, which is like pretty good scaling actually. I mean, some people online would be like, damn, That's some pretty sick scaling. I think it is. It's pretty good scaling, to be honest. It's not bad. I mean, hypothetically speaking, if I could cool 1.5 volt set, then I mean, maybe, like, I mean, that would run at like what 1.35 under load. You could cool that. You'd need a chiller for sure. You need a chiller and direct die for sure, but you could cool that. So feasibly, I could run VST at 5.8 all core if I had the cooling setup for it. So yeah, I mean, okay. So let's say you had the $600 setup. Okay, the $600 setup gets you right. Gets you a chiller, or it gets you like multiple rads and direct die for sure. You could definitely fit in like direct die and like a cheap chiller in that $600 envelope. Maybe you extend it a bit and then you could have like a nice chiller or whatever. Yeah, so that would cost you in maybe around like $600 to like $800 max. I mean $1,000 maybe if you really went like balls to the wall in the chiller and like just max out everything else. But yeah, so to run like 5.8, right, for me personally, I would need like literally a cooling setup that costs anywhere between $600 to like $900 more, which is like what the hell for 5.8. So what was all of that for? Like, what did I do that? What did I pay all that extra cash for? It's for this. Like 5%, dude. dude, imagine, bro, imagine. Like that's 15x, dude. That's like what, bro? That's crazy. 15x the cash for 5% more performance, guys. Imagine. Just imagine. Like, just think about how dumb that is to pay like. Okay, wait, now let me calm down because I know a lot of guys watch my channel are like XOC enthusiasts. Look, I'm not trying to make fun of you guys. I'm not. But let's be honest, boys. Let's be honest with ourselves. To run five, okay, my chip has good scaling. I know some of you guys out there don't have good scaling. Some of you guys confess, like some of your chips are gonna be like 5.5 requires like 1.3 volts, and then 5.6 requires like 1.37, and then like 5.7 requires like 1.48, and then like 5.8 requires like something stupid like 1.52, and like your scaling's all over the place. Yours does not have a nice like 50 millivolt increment stepping like mine does. Like my chip's got some good scaling, but even if I could set 1.5 safely and run it, like run VST, and cool 1.35 direct die or 1.35 die sense under load, the potential gains in performance for the cost of the cooling setup is like, bro, it's not even remotely like sensible. It's just like so devoid of logic. It would just, logic evaporates, with these kinds of like concepts, right? It's like logic is literally evaporating. It's like why? Like why bother? It's like, okay, you want to benchmark and get top scores. Okay, sure. Then you might need 5.8 all core, but like it's like, dude, like what's the point? But anyway, by the way, that's only AVX loads. In stuff like 3D Mark in gaming, I could probably run 1.5 volts and not like kill my chip in a year. But like, I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm not gonna do it. But like, you could feasibly do it. I mean, you could do it. It's not like out of the realms of possibility, but yeah, I mean, questionable. But anyway, so cooler is the second cheapest item on the list. And then we move on to PSU, which again is an odd one because it's like the PSU is something that you really want to have headroom with, and it's kind of weird that like it's so cheap in the setup, but I mean, it just ends up being that way, and it's a good unit. I mean, what more would you want? A ROG Thor Toner Rod. It's got an OLED screen like that. It gives you the power reading. It's got good aesthetics. It's pretty. Seisonic built, so it's good quality. Like, I mean, yeah, it's chilled for this price. I mean, I got lucky, sure, but and then the drive. I mean, it's the drive. A drive is a drive. It's whatever. 4.0 drive, cool. Anyway, then RAM. That's good. It's good. I mean, the RAM is expensive. Don't get me wrong, it's expensive, but it's not like completely illogical. I mean, it's still 64 gigs of 8i. So, I mean, this is not terrible. Like, it's not terribly bad. And then the CPU and the motherboard are pretty much equal. And in my opinion, that's completely fine. I don't mind the motherboard being the same as the CPU. The motherboard drives the CPU, it drives the CPU's performance, it drives the RAM speed, it gives you I/O, it gives you aesthetics. Um, the build quality is important. It's nice to look at. The motherboards are pretty components. It's like if you can, afford to. I mean, what would happen if this was like 300, right? All it would do is reduce the weighted value of the build by like what, like 10%. So it would be like 10% of the build at $300, and it would suck horribly. It would be really low end. I mean, okay, it wouldn't suck, but it would be like a very low end board, like a not even low, but like a mid range board, like a very mediocre board, like a very like okay board, right? So an okay board, like very medium, middle of the pack, not very outstanding, not very impressive. Okay, it's now 10% of the build, which is whatever. I guess now it's worth less than the RAM, which is whatever. That's kind of questionable. And then what you free up $300 for what? An expensive case that does nothing. Like like a lot of guys buy O11 XLs, guys. O11 XL. O11 XL. You're telling me like people online have criticized motherboard choices, and then they want to go and buy an O11 XL and a QL120 fans. Like, dude, that is where your 10% went. Like, that is where $300 went. Is like garbage motherboard, O11 XL, stupid fans. Okay, bet, makes sense. What? Devoid of logic, bro. Like, literally, like, doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, buy this thing and get a sick board. Because the board you're gonna look at, and you're gonna appreciate it, and you're gonna use it, and you're gonna be like, damn, I wish I had more I/O. Like, oh wow, it kind of sucks that my board only has like 3 USB slots. Oh damn, it kind of sucks that my board looks like shit. You know, now come to think of it, this board looks terrible. This is like a horribly looking board. I want a new one. Like, that's literally what I've dealt with in the past. Because I used to buy cheap boards, and I was always like, damn. Like when I was still in high school and stuff, before I had like a side job or whatever, and even like before then, like before I even, when I was still in university with my side, before my side job, and I had no extra cash basically. I was just buying supplements, with whatever allowance I got, and that was it. And I pretty much had a bare bones motherboard, like as cheap as can be, less than $100 for example, and I mean it's really just not fun. It's like, okay, great, my board's terrible. It's like, it looks terrible, it does very little. Everyone else got a better board than me. It's like, you wish you had a better board. And, honestly, like, the delta between a sick board, like top of the range, and like a really meh board, is not that much. Right? It's not that much. It's like, yeah, maybe you look at it like, oh, this board's twice the price. But it's not just the raw figure, it's kind of contextual. Like, okay, it's 300 versus 600. Like 600 is still fine if your CPU costs 600. Like it's like, okay, so they're equal. Fine, that's chilled in my opinion. And then, okay, that's my opinion, right? So I mean, maybe you believe boards are worth this, but in my opinion, I love motherboards. I think they look amazing. I think they're important to um, just pull the board together. Like, it's nice to have a premium board. I just don't enjoy crappy boards. I've used them in the past when I've been forced to, but as soon as I started to be able to afford better boards, I just jumped on it because I was like, I love motherboards. They're so cool. And yeah, so most expensive GPU makes sense. Nothing to say. Nothing to say there. Nothing crazy. It's what you would expect. It's what it should be. It's not less than the CPU, not less than the board. It's all good. Now, if this was an Apex, it would be less. Which now that would be very questionable. If I had an Apex and it was worth more than the GPU, oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. Because let me tell you, by the way, shout out to the owner of the site, he's a very nice guy, but let me tell you, if I bought an Apex, boys, oh no. Oh, that would be very questionable. Is this gonna load? What's happening here? Do I have internet? There we go. Motherboards, Intel. By the way, this is obviously where I live, so you guys have different pricing, but we have tax and stuff, but yeah, this is what an Apex will cost me. And this is before shipping, by the way. So, yeah, the Apex would by far It would be the most expensive component if I bought one. So yeah, I'm never buying an Apex unless I get a 90. If I get a 90, then it makes sense because a 90 would be more like, well, the 90 would have been, it would a 4090 would have been. So yeah, so then yeah, then you can buy Apex whatever because now the GPU is like crazy weighted. It's like way more valuable than anything else here, right? But this spread looks good right now for the moment. But if I got a more expensive card, then I could get a more expensive board because now the GPU is still the weighted like kind of titan of the entire spread of components. Now, if the Apex was like 30% or whatever, or something much higher, like okay, even if the 4090 existed, the problem is the CPU at this price would still be significantly cheaper than the board. And yeah, overseas, a lot of guys are paying a grand in US for the Apex and buying i9s for like 550. So you're paying double the money for your board, your CPU. Yeah, man, I don't really know, guys. It's a bit weird. I don't know. It's a bit strange. I would probably just do this. Like, if you really wanted a two dimmer, I would just do this because I don't really see a reason to not buy this. It gives you most of what you need, and now we're still in reasonable, like, sensible realms. Like, so yeah, like, in my opinion, guys, this is how you break down a build. Like, this is how you do it. The weighting must make sense. Like, you don't need to spend 150 on a motherboard. Because in context, all that it means is the motherboard becomes like infinitesimally small compared to everything else. It becomes like completely like imagine this was a it's like now this is worth less than the drive, right? It's worth a touch more than the PSU, right? So I don't get it, guys, because people that speak about this whole Ryzen thing, this whole like AM4 or AM5, sorry, versus like Raptor Lake, this whole the motherboards are too expensive, too expensive. Why do you have to buy the DDR5? Oh, it's too expensive. It's like, dude, why do you want a $150 board? What do you really want your motherboard to be the same price as your drive? Is that what you want? Do you really enjoy that? Is that your goal? Like, do you enjoy having an SSD on par with your board pricing? Do you really enjoy owning a $200 AIO and having a $150 board? Or like, do you enjoy having a $500+ custom loop and a cheap ass motherboard? Does that make any sense to you? Like, do you really, like, do you actually like see logic in that? I don't get it. Like, I'm not here to say that like you should buy an expensive board, but the people that are criticizing like Raptor Lake owners criticizing board choices are like the same people who are buying AIOs for like $150, $200. That's like the same as the board price or more, right? Like, no, dude, use your logic, man. Like, find deals and stuff like this, stuff that you just don't need to have like a crazy amount like of weighted value on. Like, it's a AIO cooler. Like, dude, like you don't need to spend a bunch of money on it. Like, it does a simple function. Like, it's and having extra cooling is really not gonna make much a difference. The biggest difference is your binning. It's your silicon quality. Like buying a crazy loop is just not logical in my opinion. And then like people that buy these crazy cases, like why would you want to have a motherboard the same value as like your fucking O11 XL? Like what the hell? Like that makes no sense. Like no sense, dude. Like, bro, this is like average 7800 X3D pro gamer build board. So then CPU obviously 3E 3D. AIO. Oh my god. I can't even, bro. What would they get, dude? I mean, You're probably getting this, dude. Hold on. AM5 AIO 360 mil. No, 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 no. 280, bro. Because 280s are sick, right? That's what all the epic gamers buy. All the what they buy? Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Probably like this thing, right? This thing, or like a Noctua or something, right? Surely. Maybe an Arctic if they're smart, but like I doubt though. I doubt more like this kind of thing, right? Like this, dude. Yeah, bro, like this or probably just pick this one. This is the one like all you guys are gonna buy. Maybe this one if like H150i Elite. Ooh, dang, this is pretty cool. What the hell is this? Damn, Corsair. Okay. Yo, you guys are definitely buying this one. Definitely. This is definitely your cooler. This is like, I mean, dude, I'm trying to be funny, but it's not even a joke. Like, it's actually what'll happen like like in reality. That's actually what happens. Like, it's what they buy. Hold on, Corsair Vengeance RGB. Of course, you gotta buy the slowest kit because you don't wanna stress test. So obviously, you gotta buy the slow one. Make sure it's got RGB. You have to make sure it has RGB. Completely crucial. Like, it has to have RGB. Okay, cool. So, and just make sure it's Expo as well, because obviously that's the biggest difference. Expo means like Expo is like it's just way better. So I would say this one. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm actually dumb. Hold on. Why'd I copy the link? Am I? I was about to say something and I can't say on YouTube. This one. Yep, definitely. Ram fan? What Ram fan, bro? You're a Ram fan, dude. You're a gamer. You don't need Ram fans. Gamers don't require RAM fans, bro. Come on now. GPU. Okay, definitely this. Definitely this. Like, let's be fair. Amazon's got ripoffs on these. Let me just go to Newegg. 4090. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard my grandma earlier on. She was like shouting at me because I'm being loud. Because she's trying to sleep. Yeah, I'm a bit of a dickhead. Anyway. So. Ooh, that's pretty cool actually. That's a cool design. The problem is they use very cheap plastic, so it looks really crappy. Do you know for like this price, this is not too bad, eh? What do you guys think? I like look at this. Look, they give you a nice thick, bracket to stop sagging. It's nice squared off design. It's clean, but not enough RGB. So we have to pick between this one, or this one. I almost want to say it feels like pro gamers love Gigabyte for some reason, so I'm gonna say this one. And you know what? This one has the best BIOS, so I'm gonna say this one. I'm gonna say, you know what? You know about the 600 watt BIOS. You know about the differences between the cards, so you're gonna buy this one. So I'm gonna say uh, Gigabyte 4090 Gaming OC. And then SSD, oh, dude, probably like what? Samsung 990 Pro. And don't even kid with me. Like, you guys know that gamers love fast SSDs. The fastest one possible, for sure. Like, easily. Always. Yeah, definitely this one. Yeah, definitely. Like 250, yeah, for sure, dude. Because why have a nice board when you're gonna spend like 250 on this? Like, way more sense. I'm gonna find the board, and I'm gonna be reasonable. Dude, I'm gonna catch so much flack. You guys are gonna tear me apart in the comments. You're gonna be like, no, I would never buy that, dude. Stop making fun of me. You're such an idiot, bro. Stupid Intel fanboy. Uh, what kind of PSUs do pro gamers like? I think that they like Well, if you were smart, you'd buy Seasonic, but you're probably gonna buy like a Corsair or something, right? Or like maybe a. I mean, you might buy the ROG, but probably not. What am I saying? Corsair. I'm gonna say 1200 watt, maybe 1000 watt. Like this one. Okay, well that's way too expensive. Damn, why are power supplies so expensive in your guys' country? What the hell? Wait, hold on. Let me just do this. I mean, you definitely need 1200 for the 4090. I mean, you might get away with 1000, but I would say 1200 makes more sense. Maybe you want to buy sensibly. You buy this one, right? Or like maybe you buy this one. This is kind of nice. It's not terrible for the for the pricing. It's not terrible. I mean, this is pretty cool actually. This is a pretty sick PSU. Look at this. Damn, that's a sick PSU. Um, but damn, why are power supplies so expensive in America, dude? What the hell? What happened? That doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, none of these are appealing. Just because the price is just crazy, like 900 to 1200 watts. Great job, Newegg. Let's go to Amazon again. See what PSUs they have. Probably this one, right? Okay, yeah, this makes sense. This for this price is good. For 190, okay, there we go. So, yeah, this one. I mean, honestly, it's not a bad option either. It's a decent PSU. RM1000. That's 190, so cool. That's cool. 1000X. So, say that's $190. This thing was 245. 245. This was 1700s. This was 150. This was 210. This is 450. Oh, you know what it has to be. Goes without saying. It has to be. Must be. Must be. Lee and Lee, and let's so. This is pretty cool. Probably that, I would say probably this. Maybe. So it's a $150 case. Not terrible. Lee and Lee 011 dynamic. 150, and then fans. Of course you need fans because obviously there's 6 fan slots. So I mean, if you want to match the Corsair build, you're gonna buy Corsair fans, but you could maybe buy Uni fans, but probably Corsair LL120 are like the default for gamers. So I'm gonna say Corsair LL120. Oh my goodness, dude, it's $160 worth of fans. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, cool. So, build is done. That's a pro gamer build right there. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. That's what it looks like. You got your RGB Corsair RAM, your sick Corsair 360 AO, got your nice 4090 with the RGB in the front. You got your 2TB super fast, lightning fast NVMe. You got your RGB fans, and you got your dynamic. So that's a pro gamer build right there. Right? That's it right there. So to analyze, right? Will this beat my rig? Of course. Otherwise, you paid for freaking. So obviously, I mean, it's a 90. It's like almost double the price of my card, right? Obviously, you're gonna end up getting higher frames. It's not even a question. Like, duh. Um, I mean, but yeah. So look at the values though. Like CPU wise, I win. I have much better multi-core performance. It's like not even like 32 threads, guys, versus 16 threads. Like in any sort of multi-threaded application, like it's not even a race. It's a whitewash. In gaming, it's probably blow for blow, but in multi applications and like just multitasking, it's not even close. Like it's not even a comparison. Like yeah, sure. I paid more, of course. I paid 33% more for the CPU, but I literally have twice as many threads, and like I can just do way more on my computer, right? So that's kind of the thing, right? Cooler wise, okay, cool. So I got bargain bin SICK 420, and you got an RGB 360. That's great. Like cool. Like I mean I don't know. That's whatever. And maybe you get the cheap one. So like let's say you got the non XT for like 150. That's still 150. So I'm gonna say non XT. So the normal one. That's still 150. And that's very common for most people to buy AOs. 150 is a very normal price. The RAM 150. Okay, my kit, yeah, it's way more. Yeah, 385. Yeah, you know what? Like, you could argue, okay, this is way more, but I get 64 gigs, right? You have 32. I have 64. I have 8 die, so 64 of this would be like what 290. So yeah, I paid $100 more for like Okay, let's pretend you're a streamer. So let's say you got the 64 gig version. I'm gonna say I'm just gonna edit it myself because I know how much it costs. Well, let me check for references. Let's see, Corsair Vengeance Expo 64 gig. Can't buy this. You'll have to stress test this. So can't buy this. You're gonna have to buy this one. Yeah, 270. Okay, cool. So 270 more or less. So 270. It's not quite double, so that's good. Some value at least. About 270, or let's say even 265 or 265, right? So yeah, you end up paying 120 than I did. So for $120, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, cool. You saved $120, and now you managed to skimp out in RAM. I got this kit. I'm doing 6800, and you're doing this, but you paid, quite a bit less. So cool, that's fine. You made some savings there. I can respect that. If you don't believe in fast RAM, fair enough. We both have 64 gigs, so whatever. And then for board wise, I'm gonna go to, I would say Newegg again and just check. Well, we know what the cheapest one was. It was that Gigabyte one, right? Okay, let's say you take my advice and you buy this board because it's a good board. Like, definitely should, but let's assume you take my advice. So I mean, dude, $220, you get Wi-Fi 6, 14 V-Core stages, 70 amp smart power stages, by the way, digital VRM. You get 8 PCB layers. Definitely buy this, please. This is actually a good board. So, right? Okay, yeah, I paid a lot more for my board. Is it worth it? Depends what you consider worth it. This board is still capable. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of the features mine has. Like, it doesn't have like a power button, doesn't have reset button, it doesn't have whatchamacallit, as much I/O. It doesn't have what else? Like, I think the PCIe switches probably on my board. I probably have like better lane configuration. I would bet this board doesn't have, the lane configuration is not quite as thorough because it's a B650. So obviously you miss, like, I don't know what it misses. I think it misses, like, I think the second PCI slot isn't 5.0 and some other stuff, and like the NVMe support's also quite diminished. So yeah, this board has a good feature set, but it is quite bare bones compared to mine. But yeah, you know what? You could argue that you're saving some good money on this and the RAM, and then you can put that towards the GPU, which is fair. That's fair enough. But my problem is, again, like, on the average gamer build, even though like, let's say I'm conceding to you guys, like I'm saying, whereas I pay this That's 380, and then 125 for the RAM, so 380 plus one. I'm gonna say 120. So where I'm paying $500 more for a better board and better RAM to get the speeds, right? To get my DDR5 speeds, um, to where they need to be to extract the most performance out of Raptor Lake. Yeah, it's $500 you're saving, and you could say, oh, so if I had that, I could have added that to my card, and then I would have had, hypothetically speaking, if I was in America, I could have been closer to a 90, right? Um, that's reasonable. That's not terrible logic. The 3 chip doesn't need RAM to be as quick, so arguably speaking, this is not like a massive hindrance, right? And this board is still capable. So I mean, if you're gonna put it into a case, it's not a bad board, right? Um, my problem though is your board will cost you less than a good NVMe. It'll cost you almost as much as a PSU, brand new. It'll cost you slightly more than a case, slightly more than fans. Like these mundane objects that just, like these two. Like, what is this? Like, why? Like in the same breath as you saying, okay, um, let's pretend like I never wanted to buy a 90, right? Okay. In the same breath, I could tell you, hey, I don't daily a case or fans because I'd rather take this cash and put this on this to make my board more expensive because I want a better board. And you can't tell me anything. Anything. Because I'm like, dude, I didn't buy a case. I didn't buy RGB case fans. Why? Because now I can take the cash and upgrade the board. Right? And you can't say anything. There's no argument to that. If I went and bought a case and bought fans, now you win. But till I do that, which I won't, my logic is that I did this so I can free up money for this. One step further. Okay, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you don't want to buy a 90. You want an AMD build, right? And I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Microsoft. I'm gonna say, okay, you know what? You're gonna get your AMD card at better. By the way, let's just appreciate the fact that I managed to get this done in South Africa with like our pricing, and I managed to get like a American pricing on my shit, dude. That's crazy. Anyway, bro, I try really hard to snipe deals, bro. I try so hard. I refuse to pay premiums. I refuse. Like, I have to finesse. I must finesse. Wow. Okay, so you guys can get some. Okay, that's. Okay, yeah. So let's say this one. You want to buy this one because this is $1,000. So you buy this one. Very nice card. Very nice card. Right. So you're buying the AIB model of mine because I have the ASRock as well. So you're gonna buy this, right? Maybe you like the Red Devil. Oh, it's a Halal. No, never mind. Hey, what is this? Okay, whatever. Okay, so you're gonna buy this. I bought the NBA. You got the Phantom Gaming, right? This is 1 grand. Okay. Now we're cooking. Now we can have some fun because now we're on par. So I'm gonna specify here 64 gigs. Just so we know. Okay. Ooh, that's gonna bother me. We've seen the rand values. Let's just get them out of here and just focus on dollars, so you guys can. Because honestly, like, South Africans aren't really involved in this whole thing. It's mainly going to be addressed to overseas enthusiasts. This whole video, and yeah, so gonna just remove these. So this is my cost of building, right? I paid almost $3,000 for my PC. So let's say 450. I'm being nice to you. I'm gonna assume you guys got free shipping. I'll be fair, because I know some of you guys get free shipping. So I'll be nice and I'll say, okay, you got free shipping, so you didn't pay for shipping. So whatever potential added cost there was there is gone. So let's just assume it's free shipping. Okay, so you paid 2,680. Okay, so actually, let's say that's fine. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna do weighting real quick. 8.21%. Let me check something real quick. It's 160. 5.5 or 5.95. I will fix those others, by the way. I know what you're thinking. This now changes because it's changed the build cost, so it'll change now. Not tremendously, but it will change. $8.18 now. $16.73%. Okay. RAM 265 divided by 2, 690. Some nice cheap RAM. 9.85%. Hope I'm doing this right, by the way. I'm so tired right now. 1000 B 690 times 100. 37.17%. 9.11%. Divided by 7.06%. Okay, great. So that's your weighting. Your cheapest component is a split between. Okay, well, your case is the cheapest, same as mine, but it is a significant 5%. It is a huge contribution, whereas mine is just the open frame because why have an expensive case? Um, Your next two are split between your AO and your fans, so whatever, that's cool. Like neither here nor there. Next cheapest would be your PSU. Similar tiers like mine, almost like kind of like. Because obviously I also went like case, cooling, PSU, so that's semi-similar. Next is your drive, similar trend again, similar trend again. Then next is your motherboard. So similar to mine, but here your board is with about half as your CPU, and your board is marginally more valuable than your AIO and fans, case, barely more than your PSU. I was actually wrong. Where? No, I'm wrong. The motherboard is cheaper than the drive. Yeah. This comes first, then this. But let's say, okay, well, I'm not gonna go back now. But anyway, so yeah, like I mean, even if this was a cheaper drive, like $200, right? Or like 150. I mean, let's see what there is available. Let's see what you can actually buy. I'm curious. 2 TB NVMe. This is a 980 Pro for 160. I bet you buy this then, right? Probably buy this, yeah. Probably 980 Pro, right? It's 160. That changes everything. So I'm minusing 85. 2605. About 26 now, even almost. Right? So now, a bit better now. So cooler, drive, case and fans are all very similar pricing wise. And then PSU's a little bit more, tiny bit more. And then board is more expensive than all these, which is good. That's a good thing still. And then half the value of your CPU. And RAM is a bit more expensive than the board, but it's not like crazy. It's slightly more, right? And GPU is about a similar weighting to mine because obviously we have the same card now. Well, again, it's very easy for me to say, okay, well, I don't buy a case, I don't buy fans, therefore I can add and buy a better board, right? And that's besides the fact that I got a cheap AO that I basically like searched for, like I sniped, right? Um, so it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing you really identify is there's 375 missing, or 370 rather missing. This is even, like, let's make it even. If I can find something to remove it from, what would it be? Can't be actually. It'll have to be 2605. So let's say 370 from where, right? CPU is 155 more expensive, and then you could say like RAM is 120. So 155 plus 120. What? 55 plus 120. That's almost all of it. That's like there's like what 115 left, and that can be like what, I don't know. Drive. I overpaid. Right, and then that's about it. So the drive discrepancy is what, $65 because I paid for it like back in the day. It's like 340, and then yeah, it's like $30 somewhere. I don't know, $30 whatever. It's not really much of a factor. It's kind of whatever. But yeah, so I mean, look, at the end of the day, it comes down to like choice. It's like, you can't really say that someone can't like transfer these kinds of funds to the motherboard. Like, you can make concessions. Like, that's the point. Like, you can make concessions. Um, is it like, is my build the kind of build you'd want? Like the average person? Probably not, because this build is prettier. Um, this case is very nice, and it'll look more expensive. It'll look more proper. Like, it'll be like a nice, well built, probably like well cable managed, pretty looking RGB build. It'll be a very, very pretty looking, like centerpiece build. But I mean, in terms of actual, like, I just don't see a problem with, like, deciding, okay, I don't want to buy a case or fans or whatever, or I don't want to, like, I would rather get something like this than buy a, you know, like a nice AIO, or like, I mean, it's arguable for sure. Like, you can decide. It's pretty much, you know. What would make sense is actually if I do this, because I think when the CPUs are split, it's kind of weird. I think it would make more sense if I do this. If I do this, it'll make way more sense. Because now we could say pro gamer slash streamer build. That would make more sense actually. Because now you guys have like feature parity. Because now you have all 32 threads and you can stream as well. So now I can't use the multi-thread argument. That's 700, and then that's plus 250 basically. So, 2850, 2855. So, yeah, you save like what, 120, right? 120. So what do you think? These trade blows in gaming and multi-thread, like different applications, rendering. Um, so I just don't see a problem with, like, choosing. Like, I don't know. I maybe you think I'm dumb, but in my opinion, like buying a bare bones Intel build with, like, skipping out on a case, skipping out on fans, you know, like, if you want to find a way to divert funds to the motherboard, I don't see a problem with it, dude. I don't know. I like it. Like, it's chilled, in my opinion. Obviously, maybe you might disagree. Like, maybe you think it's illogical. Like, maybe you think that this is a more sensible build. But, like, in my opinion, this is funner. Like, I like tuning. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe this person over here doesn't like tuning at all. But the point is, there's choice. Like, it's not really a clear-cut win, is there? Like, it's not really a thing where you could say that the Intel person is, like, crazy for doing it. Like, you can't really say that the Intel build is, like... So I will say, before this, right, the non-3D, nah, that was, like, easy choice. Because this wins everything. This would have won in gaming and trade blows and multi-thread. But in gaming, this would have been way faster, like, proper 10% faster. Now with 3D chip, it's like trade blows. Now it's like some games Intel edges, some games AMD wins. And yeah, you get a benefit of having to tune the RAM. So yeah, you can consider it. I mean, there's no, like I said, I never made a video or a tweet trashing Zen 3D. I never trashed it. Like, I never did. Like, go find go find a place where I say that it's gonna be terrible or like slow or whatever. I've always said like it's viable. It's just not like it's not really cut and dry. It's not like, oh, it's obvious. It's like not really obvious. Like, and keep in mind too, like my kit that I paid for, like that's my pricing. This kit in the US is not 385. This kit is like what in the US? It'll be like this much. Hold on. Wait, 6000 CL32. It's not this one. It's if I come down, it's gonna be this one. No, no, not this one. Sorry. The slightly worse bin. Can't find this one. Here it is. This one. 320. So in the US it's 320. So yeah, like I think that there's no real better way to express the concept. Like the weighting is what determines if the part makes sense. And even comparing like a Zen 3D build versus Raptor Lake, like a build that'll compete, like it's just I mean, depending on how you do it, like, you know, it doesn't really become a problem. Like, you know, you have to be smart. You know, Intel guys always have to be smart. We always have to buy stuff on sale. Um, make careful choices. Otherwise, the build becomes like kind of um, nonsensical. But I mean, look, like, in my opinion, dude, I don't see a reason why like Intel's getting trashed right now. Like, this just doesn't look like a problem. Like to me, it's like the pricing is so similar between these two builds. Like, if I could build this right now in NA and have like a streamer build right on the disk, like, it's just like I don't really see a a clear cut win. I don't know that I would take this, to be honest. Like, if I swapped out to this build, you get a case, you get fans, prettier AIO, you get like prettier GPU, prettier RAM. Arguably speaking, okay, that's debatable. Um, no tuning, I guess. XMP and like leave it. So no stress, you could say, like stress free build. I mean, yeah, you get some benefits, and then for this one, it's like you get manual tuning, maximum speed, um, and I guess like with my board, the benefit is I can have you know all my parts on my desk in front of me. No assembling the build, no assembling the chassis. Um, no no maintenance, no like having to blow out like dust in the fans. Um, I can easily swap out parts, right? So give and takes, like just like give and take. It's it's just not clear, dude. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what to say. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just like someone who doesn't value their time. Like maybe I have to value my time more. Like maybe if I was a multi-millionaire and I couldn't devote like 2 hours to tuning, then I'd be like, oh, I'd take this build any day because you get the prettiness, the aesthetics, and the RAM is slower, but like the chip compensates. So these two like are neck and neck in gaming. Because this is very slow RAM, by the way. Like if you got 6000, maybe you would get like more W's, but like yo, with this kind of RAM, neck and neck, probably like trading blows and shit. But yeah, so versus this RAM at like 8 to 7,000. Like so, yeah. I mean, yeah. 1 hour and 15 freaking minutes, guys. Crazy. Cheers.